Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Leslie and you are watching Lunch with Leslie. How original. Today we are actually making another salad. It has been salad week all week this week. We have made dressings, we have made mayo for all of those. Hey everybody, welcome in. For all of those salads that require mayo, we have talked about salads. We talked about how to navigate a salad bar. We've done all kinds of things like that this week and it's been so much fun. And today what I really wanted to do is I wanted to cook something for you and show you how easy it is to make something, again, that seems so difficult. Everybody thinks that recipes like this are difficult and they're not. They're actually very easy. So once again, I want to say my name is, hey Dawn, Dawn is here. She said she might be here and she's totally here. So it's good to see you, Dawn. Again, my name is Leslie and you are watching Lunch with Leslie from GoToKitchens.com. GoToKitchens.com is my website. It's right here in the title of this scope. There is nothing for sale over there. You cannot buy a thing. If you go over there and you want to buy something, there's nothing to buy. The only thing I want you to buy into is I want you to buy into your own health. And that's the only thing that I have for sale over there. So this recipe is actually not up on my website. This is one of the recipes when I started following Dr. Josh Axe. This is one of the recipes that I learned from him. And this is what got me started on my quest for understanding, hi, it's good to see you. What got me started on my quest to understanding what kind of whole real foods do I need to be putting into my body. Now I will tell you that this is a vegetarian dish. In fact, no, it's not. I'm sorry, there's chicken broth in here. You can use vegetable broth and it would be total vegetarian and it would be vegan. I'm gonna use chicken broth today, so it's not vegetarian. I'm sorry. It's close. A lot of vegetables in it and beans, but yes, so this would, if you used a vegetable broth, this would actually be a vegan recipe that I am going to teach you today. So I'm gonna take you from beginning to end and I'm gonna get started right now because it's kind of, yeah, close but no cigar, that's right. Hey Natalie, it's good to see you. It is really good. It's one of my favorites. I like to make this and I like to make a big batch of it like I'm going to do today. And I like to put it in little containers into the freezer. And so it's something that you can just pull out like on your way to work. You can just grab it out of the freezer by the time you get to work. And if you want to microwave it or however you reheat your food, you want to reheat it, or you could just eat it cold. It would be absolutely great that way as well. So heated, cold, it doesn't matter. You could actually travel with the salad because it's mostly bean based, so it's not going to go bad quickly. So it's a great little versatile salad. And so it does take place on the stove though. It's something that you're actually going to cook because you need to cook the quinoa. So I have my cheater here because I make this recipe probably about once a month, but this is a recipe that has a lot of ingredients in it. And so I like to make sure that I have the recipe in front of me, because the worst thing for me is getting to the end of the recipe and going, man, I forgot the whatever. So I know if I follow along with my recipe that I have here, that I don't have any, I have smaller chances. I still have a chance, much smaller chances of actually messing up the recipe. So you can see here, I have my iPad, which is where most of my recipes are. I know, right? I have my iPad, and my friend Dana actually taught me this trick. Dana from Whole Health Dana taught me this. I have my iPad case, and the top of it is stuffed behind my stove, and it kind of, because it's magnetic, it kind of sticks there. And so it's always in front of me right here, so I don't even need a fancy recipe holder. Although I do have a fancy recipe holder too. So I'm always going to have my recipe right in front of me. And I'm going to talk to you about the ingredients as we go along here today. So a lot of people shy away from quinoa, and one of the main reasons they do is because they don't even know what it is. They're like, what's quinoa? It's kind of become a buzzword and people are paying more attention to it. I'm going to move my camera just a little bit so you can see me and cooking. I'm also going to change my lighting so it's not quite so harsh. Excuse me while I make some adjustments. As I move my camera, all my lighting and everything changes, of course. So thanks for the hearts, everybody. So a lot of people are like, I don't even know what quinoa is, and I don't know how to cook with it or anything like that. Quinoa is a grain. It is actually one of the healthiest grains that you can have. It's like a rice or something like that. When you get it sprouted, my quinoa is actually organic and it's sprouted. See that right there where it says sprouted on there? Sprouted, yeah, ready in 15 minutes it says. Heart healthy. It says all kinds, non-GMO, see it, non-GMO, certified organic. You know me, I'm going to have all those things on there. You can buy this brand at Whole Foods, by the way. When it is sprouted, it actually means that the grain has been soaked and it has opened up its pores, essentially. Again, very layman's there, but it has opened up its pores and it makes it more available to you in your body. Your body recognizes what to do with it. So when you chew it or when you eat it, your stomach goes, hey, this is more available to me and I understand what it is, and it digests easier. So that is why sprouted grains are so good for you, as far as sprouted versus non-sprouted, as far as your health is concerned. So at least that's my understanding. So what I have down in the skillet right here is I have a tablespoon of coconut oil. Hey everybody, welcome in. It's good to see you here today. My name is Leslie. GoToKitchens.com is my website, and we are making a black bean quinoa salad, and it's Dr. Josh Axe's recipe. So I have a tablespoon of coconut oil that I have gently melted right here in my large pan. This is a one-pan meal. You're going to go into one pan and that's it. You don't have a bunch of pans sitting around that you have to deal with. This is a one skillet meal, which makes it super, super easy. So I've melted this down on about a 4, and I'm going to turn this up to about a medium heat. Now I have a ceramic skillet here, which means that it conducts heat. It has a copper core. It's made by Chantal. It actually conducts heat very, very well, so you have to be super careful. You do not want to burn anything, especially coconut oil. It gets pretty darn sticky when you burn it, so don't burn it. So what I'm going to put in there is I'm going to put 3 garlic cloves. Stinking camera. One of these days I'm going to fix my lighting and you guys are going to be so happy with me. You have to trust me there that there are 3 bulbs of garlic that have been tightly minced. So they are minced. Small pieces, in other words. You can see them right there. See how small the pieces are? So some people would call it diced, but I think that that's a bigger chunk of that. So I call it minced. Into that, so you're going to let that, you're going to let those brown. I also have, that's right, as usual, I'm sorry. This is a shallot. I'm going to hold it way over here. This is a shallot that has also, this has actually been roughly chopped. This has not been tightly chopped. This is actually very roughly chopped. And do you need out the door?
I'll be fine.
Okay. This has been very roughly chopped. And so this is 1 shallot that's going to go down in there. The recipe calls for a whole onion. Now then, that's fine. You can absolutely do a whole onion. But I have to tell you that I am not a giant onion fan. I love garlic, but onions and I'm just not a huge onion fan. I do like them, but I will never go downtown crazy putting a whole onion in this recipe. For me, it would overpower the flavor profile. So I just do a nice shallot, which is much milder. They're smaller, and I don't know, I just like shallots. That's what I cook with. But you could do a whole onion if you were so inclined. So there we go. We're just going to saute that. And those are going to turn slightly brown. So you're going to do this until you get a little bit of brown. Now, garlic and onion, as you, well, maybe you don't know, garlic and onion are really, really, really good for you. They're actually very cleansing to the body. The body absolutely loves garlic and onions. So if you're not a big fan, you should be thinking about taking a garlic supplement, because garlic is super, super good. It's good for digestion. Can you believe that? Something that has such a strong flavor is so great for digestion, but it's completely true. It's really, really good for digestion. And so is onion as well. So, and you know that 80% or 90%, I can't remember the statistic, Yeah, no, yeah, your date might not like it. That's right. Actually, it's not very strong in this. It's not going to be like, garlic. You're not going to be like, oh my God, I'm not kissing that girl because of that garlic. But this would actually be a great date night recipe. Your kids are going to like it too because you can hide it in a burrito. This is one of my favorite burritos too. Oh, there's Edison. You guys, yay, Edison made his barking appearance today. No, not at all. It's because we are going to actually put the quinoa in next, Scott. Scott is a chef, you guys, so I'm always like a little bit nervous when Scott is here. Not really, Scott. I love you to death. I could never be nervous around you. I want to take cooking classes from you. But no, I do not find that at all that it burns putting it in this early. It actually gets this really nice, robust little kind of crispy, yummy, caramelized taste to it. So now I've added 1 cup of the quinoa, and I have done that dry. This is going to allow the quinoa to toast up a little bit, which makes it so yummy. It's so yummy when you do this. So now we're going to add in our quinoa, and I have to tell you, and I'll say it again, smell-o-scope. Hello, we need smell-o-scope around here. Smell-o-scope would be amazing because you guys would be drooling right now. So the quinoa is going to start to pop a little bit, especially if your heat is too high, which I am notorious for. Have you guys ever noticed that? I am so notorious for having my heat too high. Well, I don't know about the science of food, but I'm not very sciencey, but I can tell you what's good for you and what's not. Right? I know. What we need to do is you guys all need to go to the Periscope Summit, and I will make a big giant, Scott and I will make a big giant dinner for all of us. And Roz, of course, Roz. We'll make a big old giant dinner for all of us. So quinoa is, again, very recognizable to the body. When it starts to toast, you're going to notice that it browns a little bit. And again, I'm not going to be able to show you, but it'll get like a little bit of a brown color on it, just like any grain would as you're toasting it. Just think about your bread. When you toast bread, it turns brown. The quinoa will do the same thing. Again, when you're doing that, you're opening up the pores of the quinoa and make it more recognizable to the body so that it is easier to digest. The reason everybody is on the no grain, especially processed grains, which you should not be eating, I totally agree with that, on about the processed grains, is because I'm going to move this off the heat just a second so it cools down before I add my liquids because I don't want it to splatter all over me. But one of the things about processed grains is that your body doesn't recognize it. It doesn't, when it gets to your digestion system, it goes, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know what any of this is because it can't find the nutrients in it. So processed grains, and it affects your brain, it affects your skin, it affects your eyes, it affects your nails, it affects everything. So we just need to leave that door open when I'm broadcasting. Sorry, my husband's trying to get out the door. Hold on. Everybody bear with me just a second. I'm going to just move my camera and open this door so we don't have this complication. So we both work at home, so sometimes we get in a pickle with each other on when I'm doing live broadcasts. So edit, edit, edit. That's the beautiful thing about live broadcasting, is that it just doesn't matter. So, but processed grains, they are going to affect your brain, they're going to affect your gut, they're going to affect your butt, they're going to affect your belly, they're going to affect all kinds of parts of you and your body, because your body doesn't know what to do with it. So when you use a real grain or a sprouted grain, your body actually knows what to do with it, and it can send those nutrients that it needs from your digestion system to the, I know, right? Natalie, you're hilarious. I love you. To the rest of your body. So, okay, so I've let this cool down just a little bit. I'm going to put it back on the heat. I'm going to stir it again, and I'm going to add 1.5 cups of chicken broth. You can use vegetable broth. If you're a vegan or you're vegetarian or anything like that, you can use vegetable broth. One of the ways I help to keep this from splattering when I'm pouring, because it wants to sizzle and splatter, if you hold your spoon right at your spout and pour gently, this will allow a kind of a more of a drizzle more than a pour, and it helps you control it as well. You see what I'm doing right there? You see what it's going in there? Yeah, you can see that. And that will help now I can go because it's not as hot. The liquid has actually cooled that off. That will help you from getting huge splatters when you are pouring liquids into a hot skillet. So I'm going to leave this here. It's nice and toasted. It's so beautiful. I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to turn up the heat. And honestly, this is the point where I need to consult my recipe. I'm going to put the lid on it and I'm going to check and see how long it's supposed to cook. This says that it's supposed to cook. Oh, thank you. This says that it's supposed to cook for, it's just trial and error. That is how I have learned these things. And especially when you're cooking live, you have to have all of these little trial and error things so that you don't make a complete fool of yourself. But it is, this says that this needs to cook for 20 minutes. So this is actually going to be the long part of the broadcast today. And I have to tell you, yep, okay, good. That's funny. I have to tell you, I don't have anything planned for you today. So I'm going to open it up to you guys. Do you guys have any questions for me about anything that we've talked about salads this week? I would be happy to answer those. If you do live in Colorado or you know somebody that lives in Colorado, I'm actually going to be live tomorrow, not live like on Periscope, but like for real, like in person. I guess I should say in person. I'm going to be in person at a breast cancer event at the mall in Aurora. I think it's called Town Center Mall. I'm going to be there tomorrow. It's so exciting because I'm going to be there with the Komen Foundation. And normally people like me and the Komen Foundation don't really get along very well, but I've been invited to speak at this event with my wellness and prevention ideas about cancer and breast cancer. And because I'm a survivor and I've been connected with them in the past, I'm super excited and very, very honored to be a part of that. I'm actually doing 4 different talks tomorrow in a 2-hour time period. So I'm going to have a sore throat. No, I'm not. I'm not claiming that on myself. I'm super excited about it. And I'm going to get to meet all kinds of interesting women and all kinds of survivors from different walks of lives with different stories. And I'm super, super excited about that. So if you live in Colorado, thank you. I know, I'm so excited. I have all kinds of things like this coming up and I'm really excited about it. But if you live in Colorado, I know, I wish you could be there too. Thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet. I'm really excited about it. I haven't talked a whole lot about it because quite frankly, it kind of snuck up on me. I was like, is that this Saturday? I'm telling you, I am so busy right now that it is just overwhelming. So, and it's good busy. I'm not complaining. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, breaking those barriers down. Actually, no, Robin is not going with me. Hey, Gary, I didn't see you pop in. Robin is not going with me tomorrow. I am doing this talk with a very dear friend, Nanette Ogzinger, and she and I are doing it together, and she's doing, we're alternating our talks. And I have to tell you, it's kind of a coup for the wellness industry, for the Komen Institute or the Komen Foundation to be opening up and allowing me to say what I'm going to say. I mean, they don't even know what I'm going to say, but they know what I'm all about. So, so they know that I'm going to be talking about prevention. I'm going to be talking about, you know, let's just not get breast cancer in the first place. I mean, let's just not have it in the first place. Let's take care of our bodies so that we don't have it in the first place. So I'm excited about being able to share that message with the audience tomorrow. So yeah, and if you're the praying type, please pray and think good thoughts that we have a huge audience that is very receptive. The funny thing is that I'm going to be in a mall, right? In like the smack middle of the mall. And no, I won't be scoping that event. I'm gonna leave that private to them. So I'll not be scoping that event. It's difficult to scope when I can't actually look and interact with you guys. I find that the viewers, that nobody's really interested in that. So no, I will not be scoping that event. But and plus it'd be like 2 hours of scoping. That would be, well, I'm not above an hour, but 2 hours, that's a lot. So let me just show you real quick. You're not ever supposed to take the lid off of something like this. Can you see the steam? But I just want to show you super quick. See how it's bubbling in there? Can you see that? That is what you want with this particular dish, okay? Normally, you would, when you were cooking it just in a pan, like almost steaming it, like you would steam a rice, you wouldn't really want that kind of bubble. You would just want it to be on a very low simmer. But with this particular dish, when it's toasted like that, you actually do want that little bit of bubble. So just so you know, I just want you to know that that's normal. So, So yeah, welcome in everybody that's just coming in. My name is Leslie. I have a website, gotokitchens.com, and we're right smack dab in the middle of making a black bean quinoa salad. So we've been talking about salads all week, and it's been very fun. And that was with a request from, she's on here actually, I think still, Melanie Wester. She's a new friend to me, but a dear friend already. And she was visiting me this week, and I asked her, I said, throw down some topics. What do you want me to talk about this week? And she was asking me about salad dressings and eating out. And so that's where Salad Week came from. And next week, we're going to be talking about salt. I'm so excited. I have to show you. Hold on. Have you ever seen anything like this? You can't, no, because you can't see it now. Hold on. I'll find the camera. We'll find it in a second. This is called black lava salt. This is actually salt, and it's black. And it comes from a volcano. Kind of cool, right? I'm super pumped about it. We're going to be talking about salt next week. I met a salt expert, and he was so amazing, and we had so much fun in our discussion. And so I actually did a quick interview with him. I've met him at a farmer's market, and I did a quick interview with him, and we talked about salt, and it. I learned so much. I mean, I learned so much, and I cannot wait to pass that information on to you guys next week. You guys are really quiet today. Somebody say something, anything, while we're waiting the quinoa to cook, not to boil, but to cook. I can just keep talking if you want to keep listening. Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah, it's at this rate, you're right. It's going to evaporate the water very quickly. So you're absolutely right. So, and that's it's on its path right now to do that. So, I mean, the thing about this is that you're probably going to reheat it. So having the quinoa a little al dente to me is actually very good. I actually like my quinoa when it's not mushy. I like it when it's a little al dente, when it has not a crunch, but when you bite into it, it actually kind of pops. I actually like my quinoa like that. So if you like it a little more done, you would want it to simmer. You want to turn down the heat and let it simmer longer. Maybe put it down on a medium low, and if you like it more mushy than I do, and put it down. Mushy's not an attractive word, but that's the one I use. So put it down on low and let it cook a little bit longer. That will actually help. I don't like mushy either. What do I do for Edison to make him healthy and live so long? Edison is our Labradoodle. For those of you who don't know, that's who was barking in the background. That wasn't Robin, my husband, barking. That was Edison. Edison is a 12-year-old Labradoodle. He's an amazing dog. He is so healthy because, right? He is so healthy because we have been feeding him organic dog food since he was a puppy. And we have never overfed him. He has never had anything from the table. He does not eat human food at all. The only time he gets something special is at Christmas and Thanksgiving. And we figure that we're eating something special, and so he should eat something special too. That's the only time he gets human food, which means like cooked food. But he does get creature food. So he absolutely loves carrots. In fact, I just fed him a couple tomatoes, or slices of tomatoes. He likes carrots and tomatoes and strawberries, and you're not supposed to feed dogs grapes, but he likes grapes. So, but that is just very, very rarely. We don't do that. Yeah, we don't do that very often because he's very special to us, and like most people's dogs are, and we want him to live for a very, very long time, as long as he possibly can. But he's coming up on 12 and a half years old, and he still acts like a puppy. He's an amazing, amazing little creature. I absolutely adore him. And yes, and if you're ever fortunate enough to visit me here in Colorado, you'll get to meet Edison. So, all right, let's check it out. We are getting really close. I'm just going to give it a quick stir here. The next part of this doesn't take so long. Isn't everybody glad? You don't have to listen to me ramble. So the recipe says 20 minutes, but I say that you do it until the liquid is gone. So you need to stand by your stove. Just don't set it. Basically, I would say anytime that you're cooking, don't just set a timer and walk away and think, well, that's how long it's supposed to be, because you run the chance, and I'm going to move my camera again, excuse me. You run the absolute risk, man, I just can't get it right today, of absolutely ruining your food. And food is expensive, especially when you're eating organic. And so you don't want to ruin your food. Okay, can you guys see there? I'm going to move this closer this way and less of me and more of the food. But can you see there how it is kind of stiff? All the liquid is gone. I'm actually going to reduce my heat right now, and I'm going to pull it off of the fire. I'll pull it this way so you can still see it. And I'm just going to continue to stir it. It smells absolutely amazing. Can you see that? No, not through the steam and everything. So when quinoa cooks up, I call them, don't say this to your kids or anybody who's sensitive about food. But they look like little fish eyeballs. When quinoa is ready, it will actually get, I don't know, maybe kids like that. Maybe say that, but no, because then they'll be like, and they're fish eyeballs. Mom's freaking me out. She's feeding us fish eyeballs. And they're going to tell their teacher, and you're going to get in trouble and all that kind of stuff. So don't say that. But they do. They get kind of translucent, and they have a little core inside of them. So they kind of look like just little tiny like fish eyeballs. And that's how you can tell when quinoa is ready. It's a very, very good indicator that it is ready to serve at that point. Okay, so what does my recipe say? Okay, blah, 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 vegetable broth. Okay, so now we are going to add some spices. So we're going to use a little bit of red pepper. You can just do these spices to absolute taste, whatever you like. I am kind of spicy. I kind of like spicy. I don't like super spicy, but I do like some spicy. And I have to tell you, that's kind of grown on me. That was never my thing before. And now as I have a really clean diet, spicy tastes really good to me. So I'm going to go with some spicy there. I'm going to add a little bit of cumin. Again, just a dash. You do not want cumin. Will very quickly, I got a couple of shakes in there. Cumin will very quickly overpower your dish, so you want to be super careful with that. I'm going to add some salt. And I do not have to add any black pepper because I have already put red pepper down in there. Now you could add black pepper if you just like that flavor profile, but you do not have to do that for sure. So, okay, so now the smell factor, like the smelloscope level just went up to like a 10. If we had a meter here for smelloscope, it would be like a 10 right now. It smells so good. Holy moly. All right, so now while it's still sitting in here, this is not in the recipe, but I like to add this. This is just about half of a red chili. It is a pretty mild chili. I just like to add that in there because I like the color, and I think it looks pretty, and it adds a really great dimension. So I just add, see how, you can't see it, never mind. It's really beautiful. You're just going to have to take my word for it. It looks lovely in there. Food for me is all about the eyes. Well, it's about the eating as well. But it is also, I'm going to move that off there because I have some things to show you next. So hold on with me. But food is all about, is it appealing when you look at it? If you look at something and it's not appealing, your first reaction, especially if you're a picky eater, and I've been a picky eater my whole life, that your first reaction is, I'm totally not eating that. It looks disgusting. So making food appealing to the eyes with lots of colors and lots of textures is actually one of the ways to get a picky eater to eat something like this, for example. Making the pieces small. You notice I didn't have huge chunks of chili in there. I mean, the chunks of chili in this little cup that you can't see are tiny. See there on my finger? I have minced that chili pepper up in this. So when somebody bites into it, they're not going to get a huge chunk of garlic or a huge chunk of onion or a huge chunk of chili. That is how you reform a picky eater into somebody who is more acceptable to different flavors. So just keeping that in mind. Yes, the eye appeal is very, very important. So the next ingredient that we are going to put down in there are black beans. Now, you can make your own black beans, and if you do that, fantastic. I did not have time. I wanted to show you the quick way, and the quick way is to just get a organic Again, this is organic. You can see right there, black bean. And this is 2 cans of black bean. There is nothing else in this black bean. The only ingredient in this can is black beans. So that's very important. And I'm serious when I say that. There is an ingredient list on here. Oh, I lie. I'm sorry, I lie. Water, organic black beans, and sea salt. And that is all that is in this can, okay? So if you're buying a can of black beans and you can't pronounce half of the things that are on there, don't buy them. Go find you a can that just has like 2 or 3 ingredients, okay? So this is actually 2 cans of black beans in here. Now then, I have run them through a colander and I have rinsed them. This is an important step. If you do not rinse them, if you do not run them through a colander and run them through some lukewarm water, kind of almost blanch them with some warm water, then you are going to get mush in your quinoa, and it is not going to be attractive. So, and I know this because I've tried to cut that corner before, and I still ate it, but if I was serving it to somebody, they'd be like, I'm totally not eating this. It looks disgusting. So, so it's very important that you take your black beans and you run them and rinse them through the colander. This will also rinse off if you bought some with salt, like I did. This will, this will actually rinse off some of that salt as well. So, if you're so inclined. But yes, so make sure this is a very, very important step that you do that. Black beans, or beans in general, a lot of people who are doing paleo, I'm going to move this back to my low burner. This is on low now, and I'm going to add these black beans. A lot of people who are doing paleo right now have a version, the true version of paleo would tell you, the paleo diet, that you cannot eat beans. And that's fine if that's what you subscribe to. But I will tell you that beans are good for you. They're very, very good for you. And they provide a fiber that a lot of foods cannot provide for you. So getting beans in your diet is actually a really, really, really good thing. So just saying. Not dissing the paleo. Actually, I think paleo is a great structure for somebody who needs a structure, except for the bacon. I don't agree with that, but with that much bacon anyway. But in the pork, but sorry, but I do agree with its structure for the most part. So because I think it's a good base for somebody who is trying to better their habits, their eating habits. And if you need a structure, it's a great place to do that. So you like bacon? Yeah, I'm not a huge pork fan anymore, thanks to Dr. Christine. So I don't eat a lot of pork anymore now that Dr. Christine's been around. All right, so this is still on a low heat. Now you can see that this is a nice, or maybe you can, this is a nice dry mixture. There's hardly any wetness in this mixture. It's a nice dry mixture. Again, this is very important if you have a picky eater, to not have something that's mushy, to have small pieces, and to have something that's dry, because when you get something that's too wet, they tend to rebel a little bit against that. So just saying. This is 2 tablespoons of cilantro. Cilantro is another one of those power herbs. This herb is actually very cleansing to the body. It is so, so good for you. If you can get it in a raw state like this, of course, if you reheat, you won't get it in a raw state, but cilantro is amazing for you. You should try to get some kind of cilantro every single week, in my opinion, if not more. So the cilantro just gets stirred right in there. So good. Smells so good. Amazing smelling. Smells, smells, smells. That's the second thing that people think of and judge food by. If something doesn't smell good, it's hard to get some people to eat it. Now I'm going to plate it up and put it in a bowl so you guys can actually see it for real, for real. But smell is another thing. If that smells foul to you, if you don't like the way that smells, your chances are you're probably not going to eat it. Just saying. So good. Absolutely yum, yum, yum. I have a lot of dishes today. A lot of dishes. So how I like to serve this is I like to just put it in a bowl for myself. I do a big old heaping plop of it. It's going to be very filling because of all the fiber. Make it pretty. And then I like to top it with a salsa. So I make my own salsa. You can see right there in the jar. I'm actually almost out, but this is just a homemade chunky salsa. And I like to top this with just a like a spoonful of salsa right there in the middle, just like that. You have this beautiful, there we go. You have this beautiful little lunch. Now then, you can also put this in a burrito shell. You could put this in a taco shell. You could, drooling, I was like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. You could put this on a taco shell. You could have this as a part of a larger salad. So like a green salad with this topped on top of it. It's really good that way. You could put avocado with it. You could actually slice up some red bell pepper and put with it to give it a little bit of a crunch. So if you're missing the crunch, like if you think you want chips or something with it, then I would suggest a red bell pepper with it would actually be amazing. And you can make like little chip styles out of them and dip it on there and then eat it. You could stuff a red bell pepper with this mixture. You could do all kinds of crazy stuff with this particular little salad. This little bowl right here is absolutely nutrient-packed food. There are so many nutrients that your body is going to love in this little bowl. I'm sorry, I can't do it any longer. I'm going to turn around because I don't want you to see me take a big old bite, but oh, it's so good. You're going to flip out how good and how easy this is. You can make this big old batch like this and serve it to your family, or you can freeze it and use it for lunches, however you want to do it. But that little mixture right there can serve as a lot of meals. No judgment, right? And you are not, there is no meat in it. So, I'm going to turn off my stove before I walk away and totally forget. But there's no meat in it, so there is the chicken broth that I made it with, but you can make it with vegetable broth. So it's a good way to get that if you're eating a diet that's high in veggies. Good, thank you. Let me know how you like it. I can't wait to see. It is really, really good, and it's a lot of fiber. You're getting some antioxidants in that cilantro. You're getting a great whole grain in the quinoa. So it is absolutely, absolutely an amazing treat, and feels like something that you shouldn't be eating, but you absolutely can be eating. And that is, I do buy other stuff from them. Yeah, I like Simple Truth. I actually trust them quite a bit. I don't buy a lot of prepackaged food, so I wouldn't say I buy a lot, but I do like the way that I like the principles of their company, and they're really trying hard to make organics mainstream. So yes, I do like them. Now, when we're talking about crackers and cookies and chips and pastas and all that kind of stuff, no, that's still just the crud that everybody else is serving you. So no, I don't agree with that. But when we're talking about, I don't do a lot of canned vegetables. In fact, I think beans are about the only thing that I buy in a can. But yeah, so when we're talking about something like this, I do think that they are very responsible. And I like their spices too, I guess, as we're thinking about it. You can see here, Simple Truth is an organic brand. Yeah, so yeah, I do. I totally trust them. Oh, and my chicken broth is too. Oh my gosh, I use a lot of their stuff. Yeah, good eye, Gary. Yes, and this is a free-range chicken broth, by the way, and you can buy it low sodium, but I actually like it with the full sodium. So if you're not eating a lot of prepackaged foods, you don't need to worry about sodium and salting foods or sodium and things like that. So just that's a whole nother scope, but yeah, does anybody else have any other questions before I pop out and finish my lunch that I just made? I'd be happy to answer any other questions for you. So just a quick recap, we have just made, so do I, yeah, good. Thank you, Dawn, for that input. Yeah, so Gary, if Dawn and I agree, then it's probably okay. Dawn and I are on the same page on a lot of things, so. My name is Leslie. You have been watching Lunch with Leslie at GoToKitchens.com. And if you want to go over, become part of my website, if you're a replay viewer, if you are watching this on the web, wherever you're at, GoToKitchens.com is the website. It's right here in the title of the scope. I'm also on Catch.me. You can find me on all social media at GoToKitchens.com. And I encourage you to go over, become a VIP. I need to move that off that heat. Become a VIP. And you get a free ebook, How to Fall in Love with Yourself, 7 Steps to Fall in Love with Your Kitchen and Yourself. I don't even know the title of my own book because I'm thinking about those beans over there. I'm thinking about that salad. And so you get that free, and then there is also a very exclusive VIP page on Facebook for the VIP members. And we talk, you guys get the latest news in that VIP page. So you know what's coming up and what's going on. Yeah, black bean hearts. Oh, you do have black bean hearts. Yay! I like your name, Zozo Cat. Zuzu Cat? Zozo Cat? I think it would be Zoo. Right? Yes, absolutely. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to get out of here in a 45-minute episode. Amazing. You guys have an amazing day. If you're in Colorado, please come see me at the Aurora Town Center Mall tomorrow between noon and 2. I'll be doing a live, I'll be in person talking about breast cancer and what you can do to prevent it. So please, please, please join me there. Thank you so much. Today's the last day. It's For Real Food Friday. So that means I will be back on Monday and we'll be talking about salt. It's going to be a whole week of salt. Can you believe I can think of that many things to say about salt? But yes, I'm going to do a whole week of salt, and we'll end with some sort of salty recipe next Friday, a week from today. All right, so you guys have an amazing afternoon. Know that I love you. Know that I want you to only be healthy, and I want you to, if you haven't started a journey, but to start a journey to heal your body and to prevent things like cancer and arthritis and all those kinds of diseases that are affecting so many of us, being a diabetic, all of those kinds of things. I am here to help you overcome that. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Hey, everybody that's just jumping in, we are just jumping out. So please watch the replay. It is available here. It's available at catch.me as well. And you can probably find it on Twitter. It'll be on my Facebook page later. It's everywhere. Like the whole world can find it. You guys have a great afternoon. That's right. That is a perfect statement. You don't have any of them, and you don't want any of them either. Yes, and a lot of people have a false an idea in their mind that because they're not sick that they'll never get sick, and that is not the case. If you keep eating a sad American diet or a standard American diet, eventually your body will give in and you will get sick. So just trying to prevent that is amazing. So good for you. I'm very proud of you. Not that you need me to say that, but that makes me very happy. So. All right, you guys have a good afternoon, and I will see you on Monday for sure. Maybe this weekend, I'm thinking about scoping on how to store a pumpkin and get it ready for the holiday season. So I'll let you know. All right, you guys have a good weekend.